Alright, we're back in what better place than the Charlotte Roval, which I used to hate with a passion, but it's kind of fun once you get used to it. So we're just gonna go hurry up and get into this because, well, I don't know. Anyways, keys to the race card. You can see it. Tires, not really, it's not really a thing. Just don't take them, but still manage them in terms of, not forcing it to turn type deal. 2, you can see that there's a lot of heavy braking. Really, it's important in the backstretch chicane and turn 1 and coming to the final bit of the track, I guess. I don't know. Who had a big frame rate drop. Anyways, number 3, it's a really bumpy place. And, shocks can only do so much with this car in particular. Spring package they use for the fix set. And also walls. When I say walls, I mean like the exit before this, before the start of the, what would be exiting turn 2. You're getting back onto the track. I'll explain this later. Just don't hit it. So let's get to pit road and talk about the lap. Alright, we're making our way to pit road. I think I'm in 4th gear at this point. Right about here, I'm getting on the brakes pretty hard, all the way down to 40 miles per hour. Really slow. Really slow. So let me fast forward this, because it takes 3 years. There's your pit speed exit. And you're limited by the walls anyway. When it comes to exiting, except for right here, you want to keep it to the, that. Sorry, it's been a while since I've done one of these. Alright, here we are, about to take our lap. Fixed setup, fixed weather. Track temp of 100 degrees, I believe. I'm not entirely sure, but that's what it says. Possibly 99, I don't know. So the only changes I made to the fixed set were, I'm just going to say everything. Steering pinion ratio to a 264. Just what I've been using as of late. The brake bias, relatively high for me. It's like 49.9 I think I used. Master cylinders, I went to a 15/16 on the front and a 7/8 on the rear, giving it a little bit more rearward braking. And that's about it. So I'm starting all the way back here in the last 2 corners, because this kind of sets up your entire run to turn 1. And it open says you can abuse the shit out of these curbs, but in fixed, you can really just pick one. Either abuse the first one or the last one, but not both, because it starts a wicked bounce that you'll probably spin from. So keep that in mind. So we're in 2nd gear. We're just going to let this play through. You'll see it on the dash for what gear is which. It says it right there, right under the RPM. Plus you got the one there on the left. So let's play this lap and then we'll break it down, I guess. And there you have it. You can see what I meant by missing a curb to use the other curb. So let's bank that up and we'll break it down. All right, like we did with the live lap, we're going to start back here because, yeah. So there were some things you may have noticed. It bounces a lot. Close to the walls. I said avoid the walls, but unfortunately, like a street course, you got to get as close to them as possible. So let's just slow mo this. Second gear, we're gonna clobber this first curb, but we're gonna purposely miss the next one, or as well as you can. You want to just skim across that. All right. So we're making our way to one. We're gonna upshift, probably right here. And let me pause it because we're looking at these markers. One's hidden by a brace on the windshield, but there's 1, 2, and 3. I'm kind of braking right around that 2. A little bit later, in third gear, and then downshift by the time we get to the 1. So you'll see there goes the RPMs. Down, I'm going to downshift there. And right about here, you can see that's where you want to turn in, but I already started that. Like a whole car length before that, just to give the car time to settle. Now here's a tricky one because you don't want to over brake to where you'll just slow down way too early and clip the sausage curve that's on the inside. It'll bounce you into the outside wall. Your day will be ruined because I said something about walls. Why? Because they're damaging. I mean the smallest touch will meatball. So you want to skim this little red part of the curb. I'm already on the throttle, by the way. Not too much throttle or you'll run the risk of yeah. Don't even know how to mention that. So I got close to the wall. Playing with the throttle here. Aiming right for this inner wall. Don't hit it because it sends you right into the outside wall. Death. Use up as much track while trying to keep it to the left. So I'm on full throttle here. Gonna smack the limiter for a little bit. Just not worry about that too much. I'm on the brakes already. A lot of trail braking going on too. Trying to get as close to that blue sausage without actually hitting it. Using a little bit of throttle brake and a little dance, if you will. Trying to keep it to the right of this outer section here. You want to kind of let it roll from this point. Use some throttle to get it to turn from here to start rotating. Too much throttle, you spin it. With the shock settings on this car, you're bound to hit this curb here. It'll get unsettled, and to the inside wall you go. So let me slow down. I'm going to shift right here. Really don't want to, but you have to. And you can see I'm off the main racing surface. This is fine. Now I start to turn in a little earlier like I did in turn 1, so the car has time to figure it out. And the minute I get close to that red and white stripe there, we're going to be harder on the brakes. So let me slow-mo it. We're off throttle on the brakes a little bit. Just enough to get the momentum slow down. We're going to downshift. That's where that heel-toe type of thing kind of helps you stabilize. May have went a little too wide here, but the goal is to the inside of that blue line, but not too inside or you'll never make this corner without smacking the inside wall. Want to get close to this curb. Once you do, start using some throttle to try to power yourself out of this corner. There is a lot of wheel spin because of the way this thing kind of goes up and then drops off like a cliff. We're going to try to keep it to the inside. Use a little bit of this curve too much and it bounces, which sends you into that wall, which gives you a meatball because, you know, we're rolling at this point, trying to get it set up to where you want to get as close to this inside thingy here. I don't know what to call it, but close to that as you can possibly get. We're already throttling up. I'm already about 50% at this point. Power out all the way. Use all the track if you have to, but try to keep it down here once you get it, well, off the corner. We're going to shift all the way up to 5th gear. And we're going to start paying attention to these markers here. There's a 5 being blocked out by that brace, a 4, and so on. If you wait till after that 4 gets to the right side of that brace, you're probably going to miss the corner unless you're someone who can really brake well, which a lot of people can, so yeah, possible. Me personally, 5. Once I see that on the right side of the brace, I'm on the brakes. right about here. We're going to be doing some downshifting all the way down to second gear. Pretty much at each marker we're downshifting a gear, with the exception of that one. Now, I wouldn't go to first with this gearing, but you can. Now, here's where some of the magic happens. You can see I didn't track out to the right, trying to get a better angle to this curb. This is why I mentioned curbs, by the way, and the keys to the race car, because you're using a lot of them. So let me really slow-mo that. Alright, so right here, this is where I'm aiming. I should be off the brakes at this point. I'm still on them a little bit, but that's the goal. You kind of want to let it roll once you get to this point. And you can see how much of this curb I'm cutting. That's by design, because I guess the car doesn't mind that kind of cut as long as it's not like straight on and you fly into the stratosphere. Like if you miss that corner and hit one of the curbs there, you're probably going to get some air. So we're going to smack that. We're going to let it roll while turning hard to the right. You can see it almost hooked to the left, and that would have been too much. I wouldn't have been able to recover from that, and, you know, GG. So here you want to use all the space. And yes, I hit it, but I wasn't going to redo this lap. Yeah, it's good enough. Just don't hit that. Now here's another thing you might not know, because they don't mention it anywhere. If you cut through here where the red and white is, and you don't get the car back on track by the end of the red, that's a slowdown penalty now. And pretty much anywhere else on the apron. So just keep that in mind. Just if you're going to cut, which you can, make sure to get back on by the end of the red. So we're going to upshift. It also goes for this apron too. If you cut here, which you possibly can, it does that. Slowdown penalty. So here, we're kind of looking at this end of the blue line. Alright. So let me really slow-mo that pretty much when the front end of this car comes in contact with that. That's where we're hard on the brakes, but not too hard, because it's really bumpy, uneven, and you'll lock up almost instantly, so keep that in mind. On the brakes, gonna downshift as well. I waited a little bit between 4 and 3 because it'll still give you some wheel spin that you gotta time everything. Now here, you can use some of the Astro turf that's here on the left, but no more than what you see here. And here we go. We make our decision of what curb I was going to cut, which I had no control at this point. That was not on me. I did not purposely mean to miss this curb. Well, to set me up for the next one. So I had no choice but to improvise. So bam, I barely touched it. And bam, I took a line. That was a millimeter from counting as an off track. And then you power to the line, but not too much, or you'll spin. And there you go. Alright, that's going to be it for this track guide. Like I said, I used to hate this place, but it's kind of grown on me just because of it's different, you know. I like different more than cookie cutters, even though technically the track itself is a cookie cutter. But anyways, really don't know how much more I can break it down. Last road course of the season. I don't know where we're at next, but obviously we'll try to be there if it's the right track. Unfortunately, I forgot Bristol's. That's why there wasn't one that week. So yeah, anyways, December Chewy side.